robust urban garlic flavor.
Hello everybody, Robust here. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday weekend and are ready for more Darkside Phil the Locale as his resurgence crumbles. But today, we are going to be looking at Philip Burnell's video views and why he thinks his content was so good, but now he relies on his fans to pay his bills instead of YouTube revenue.
I can see this mentally challenged person is here back again, guys, on the YouTube side. Just ignore him. This guy's been doing this for like 2 weeks straight. He's here every stream spamming like 50 sock accounts. It's ridiculous. Guy has no life at all. Yes, I've uploaded around 68,000 videos to DSPgaming. I uploaded, I think it was over 10,000 videos to the original Darkside Phil channel. I think it'll say if I go there. Hold on.
Yeah, Phil, that's always been your problem. You think quantity means quality. You never think about how your videos should be building upon each other to increase views and subscribers and watch time. So what happened is your views plummeted and now you are left talking to fewer and fewer people that will ultimately have to give you more and more money. It's a house of cards that will fall.
7,200 videos on the original Darkside Phil channel. So that's over 75,000, okay? Now, what about 400 videos on my original vlogging channel? They're all gone now because YouTube hid them. 2,600 videos on my React channel, which used to be my vlogging channel. So that gets us to around 78,000 videos. Okay, hold on. 2,700 videos on the DSP Street Fighter channel, which was a 2-year running fighting game exclusive channel. That gets us over 80,000 videos. Should I keep going? Because there's more channels. We can keep going if you want. Hold on.
Yeah, Phil is just entirely giddy over how much garbage he puts out there on a daily basis. Like, I could easily put up 3 5-minute videos every single day. But here's the thing, people would get tired of it a lot faster. He doesn't get that. He doesn't get that people don't want that much content.
773 videos on the DSP Throwback channel, which used to be KO Gaming, which used to be something else. So just tag, okay, now we're like 81,000 roughly. Let's see. The thing is, I can't actually figure out the exact amount because there's 2 channels I used to have that have been deleted. One was Final Fantasy 13, which was for Final Fantasy 13 playthrough exclusively. And then there was one for Red Dead Redemption and its online play and also LA Noire. And that one was a couple hundred videos, if I remember. So probably overall, I would say in my run on YouTube, it's probably been about 8,300 videos. Excuse me, 83,000 videos. What I meant to say, 83,000 over 17 years of my life. All right? Pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing that this guy can't take a hint that nobody wants to watch his gameplay videos. He can still live stream, but don't piece up your stupid gameplay segments, chop them into 1-hour segments. Nobody wants to see that, Phil. He doesn't understand that. He thinks there's like a huge audience that is out there clamoring for it, and the views tell you otherwise. But he insists upon uploading 8 videos a day because it makes him feel happy or something. Meanwhile, it screws up his channel and the algorithm. Because the irony, his live streams, when they're live, get more views than his on-demand videos. But he doesn't get that uploading all his garbage hurts those live streams' potential to get views.
A $6.99 tip. We'll say 7. All right? I'll round up the penny. I'll spot you the penny. So this is an anonymous tipper. And they said, I was actually watching your Dead Space 2 multiplayer gameplay vids earlier today. Your catalog is vast, and it's very impressive. You're the man. Have a great stream. Thanks. I don't recall the multiplayer of that game. That's how old from that original playthrough. I don't remember the multiplayer at all. I'm sure it had it. I think I remember a Dead Space game where you did control the monsters. It must have been that one, right? Yeah, but I actually can't remember how it played or anything. It's been so long. But that's awesome. And again, that kind of content is able to be viewed for posterity purposes as long as you want. That's what I mean. Like, why would I ever delete the channel? You know. Let's see if I can even find that. Let's see.
Yeah, lucky you. You can go watch a 16-year-old video that is recorded from his TV and not using a capture card. Congratulations, that sounds really exquisite. It's recorded for posterity. It's a robust TV show, except it's some guy just sloppily uploading things without editing, and he's done that. That's why he has so many videos. When you don't edit, you can upload a ton. Like, I could just record the audio, not fix any mistakes, and just upload it. And what would happen? Viewership would drop because they're like, why is there so many pauses? Why is there so many mispronunciations? Why is there so many random trains of thought that don't make any sense? People will just start saying, hey, this content isn't that good because the effort is not being put into it. He doesn't get that. He thinks just putting the bare minimum is the best thing he can do.
To campaign. Dead Space 2 Zealot difficulty playthrough. That was the second time I played it. Severed DLC. Here it is. Dead Space 2 multiplayer gameplay. 15 years old. Part 1, just to give you guys an example, Part 1 of my Dead Space 2 multiplayer gameplay had 115,000 views. It was a different time, man. It was a different time. People liked me. There was not mass slander about me all over the internet. People actually liked my gameplay. They thought that it was good. Yeah, like that was 2011. Early 2011.
Yeah, surprisingly, Phil could still have that viewership today. You know how he would have been able to do it? By changing his content to fit with the times. He refused to do so. He was one of the early people on YouTube, so he was very fortunate because he had a leg up on a lot of people, and his content style was actually favorable to the algorithm because when he posts a lot of videos, they would accumulate a lot of views, which put his channel in good standing. But YouTube changed. YouTube prioritized not how many views you had, but how good your watch time retention was and your engagement. Phil didn't have these things, so they fell off. What he should have done was to hire editors to help him with making his content. So they would have clipped things that people wanted to see or put together a highlight, and Phil's audience probably would have stayed. Because if you're live streaming games, people don't want to see the whole gameplay. They do not want to sit through 100 hours of a game. They want these snippets. They want the gems. If they're going to sit with you while you're playing the game, they're going to do it while you're live. They're not going to do it after the fact. This is beyond Phil's comprehension for some reason.
Pretty intense. Jade says, I watched MK9 on DSP Street Fighter back in the day. There you go. That's where I posted the MK9 footage. Man, it did well. Back in the day, again, it did well. Until people found out that being toxic, being defamatory, and being slanderous towards people on the internet was guaranteed attention and money, YouTube was a different place. That was a much better place where people like me could thrive.
Contrary to what Phil is presenting here, the internet was actually a much more hostile place for people back in 2008. Look at Chris Chan, for instance. If you were a locale in that era, it was worse. The sons of Kojima who harassed Phil are worse than the trolling he has today. He just likes to paint a rosy picture on it because that was his glory days where he was making a ton of money and he didn't have to beg because he just upload a video, he'd get 30,000 views, and that would be a lot of money back then.
But essentially what happened is everyone realized, hey, we can monetize bullying. So let's all gang together. And they did, and they decided to bully me. I was one of the people. You know, there's a few people who from that era kind of were all ganged up against. You know, Wings of Redemption is most definitely one of them. And, you know, what happened is I just kept going and just, you know, pushing forward and ignoring the nonsense. And here I am in 2025. I'm still thriving. I still have a successful business. I still have a great viewer base that support me. You know, I'm not getting 100,000 views on a video anymore, but I also don't need to. I'm good. Like, I'm doing well with my streaming and everything as it is.
I don't know, I'd always sign up for 100,000 views a video, trust me. With Phil, he's basically flexing, hey, I can get my fans to spend a ton of money on me because his content is begging. Back then, he put effort into it in that the commentary was there while he was gaming. Now he refuses to do so. He thinks he'll get canceled very quickly. I guess that tells you what he thinks about his own humor. But it's like, if you're not cracking jokes, you gotta be interesting. But when you cover such a wide variety of stuff and you have no idea what these games are about and you be constant hand-holding, it gets very boring very quickly. He's not good at reacting to stuff. We have DSP reacts to prove that.
Yeah, see, that's the funny part. Dunsfelter said, imagine if support scaled up with him getting like 100,000 views on a video. Well, here's the thing. That 100,000 views came with the fact that there was no other support. Do you see the difference? Like back then, there was no live streaming. I wasn't even doing direct capture. It wasn't even prominent back then. So, yes, I got 100,000 views on a video, but no one came to a stream and dropped a super chat. No one subscribed to the channel. No one did kicks. It didn't exist.
Oh no, he was getting tons of money, but he wasn't able to squeeze it out of his fans. He had to be paid by YouTube ads. Mind you, he also had a PayPal since at least 2009. What they're saying is if you got more eyes on your content, you may be getting more money. You definitely get more money in terms of ads from people seeing it. And you may actually get a few what you call positive supporters. But you don't want to grow. You want a very insular, do as I say group.
So, yeah, the videos would make good views and make bank, but it wasn't like, oh my God, uncontrollable levels of wealth for me or anything like that. It was good, don't get me wrong.
He was able to lease a BMW and pay his condo mortgage, so I think it was pretty good.
But essentially, you know, now things are just as good, to be honest with everyone. Like this year, and I'm going to talk about this probably on Thanksgiving. Okay.
Yes, he did. He thanked God for giving him the opportunity to get all the Asmongold dents on his stream.
But this year for me, because you guys have shown up and engaged and supported so much of my content this year in such a great positive way, this actually has been the best year that I have had in a very long time. I'm not kidding you. 2025 is actually a better year for me than 2024 was. Even with all that Kino Casino buff that I got for a few months there, this year has been the better year.
Yeah, before the Kino Casino picked him up, Bill was just kind of like a flapping fish in the wind. He was dead in the water. They honestly did revitalize him to an extent, but you know, only Iced Coffee is still there, so the life preserver was always intact. Now, every time he doesn't hit a 150 goal, he whines and complains in addition to his usual manipulation tactics and continues to say, this game better get 150 or it gets it.
Best year I've had since back in the day when I actually used to get those kinds of views on YouTube. So that's what I mean, all kind of evened out. Like, let me put it this way. Yeah, if I was getting 100,000 views per video right now on YouTube and I was getting all the stream support that I get right now, oh yeah, that would be insane.
Yeah, well, obviously, because you pump out 8 videos a day, so that'd be 800,000 views daily. That's more than this channel gets in 2 months. So you'd be getting tens of millions of views. But even when you were big, you weren't really getting that. I think you peaked at like 15 million.
But it wasn't like that back then. People knew, hey, I go watch DSP's videos. I recommend it to my friend. I share it with everyone. He gets more views. He gets success. That was it. So that was how people actually supported back then, you see? But today, it's very different. Today, it's like, come to the stream, support the stream, you know.
Yep, today, you not only have to spend your time on Phil for an inferior product, you have to spend all your money, too. He really is a good businessman, because he gets everything and his fans get little to nothing.
Buckwell, that's a dumb question. He says, well, if you got canceled on the internet and you couldn't do anything on the internet whatsoever at all, how long until you need to get employment? Immediately. What do you think, I'm a moron? Do you think I would literally be like, well, let me take some of the money that I made and saved up and immediately just live off of it and do nothing? I would immediately get a job. This is a ridiculous question. For someone who, sadly, I hate to say it, Buckwell, that was a very immature question, because anyone who is like, you know, has a lot of responsibilities, a lot of financial stuff going on in their life, like a mortgage, would not be asking that question. It'd be like, I need a job right away. I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to go right to it. I'm not trying to embarrass you, but I mean, that was a really silly question. Let me just sit here and let what finances that I've accumulated for myself over the last year completely go away and dwindle. That sounds like a good idea. No. I didn't misread Buckwell's message. I refuse to acknowledge it. He's asking me, look, here's what Buckwell actually asked. How much money do you have? That's literally what he asked me. Phil, how much money do you have? Because his question was, if you were to not stream anymore or make content on the internet, how long would it take you until you drained your resources that you have to get a job? It's a dumb question. I'm not going to tell you how much money I have. That's not your business. So instead, I turn it into, hey, I wouldn't wait. I would get a job right away. Therefore, your question's invalid. You see? It's called being intelligent. It's something that, you know, some people need to learn about. Maybe watch what I do and emulate it. And then maybe in your life, you'll be witty and have answers for things too that don't reveal your entire personal life to the public. You see? It's called thinking on your feet, thinking quickly. While I was giving the answer, I was also banning this guy who's on his 14th, 15th account already tonight. Like, it's called multitasking. It's something maybe you could learn about by watching my stream. You know, just saying.
Phil, you actually don't have to reveal much. You could just say, oh, I have savings for X amount of months. Obviously, you wouldn't say years because you wouldn't tell your fans, oh, I'm good for the next 10 years. Because you'd never be able to convince them otherwise to give you more money. Like, we know that it's very doubtful that he has a ton of savings because we've seen his finances, unfortunately, from the bank leaks. I'm not saying that was ethical, I don't condone that, but he loves to spend the money. It goes in and it goes out. And here we have the e-beggar saying, oh, I'm not going to open the books, it's none of your business, even though I make you paying me so I can stay here and stream and beg for your money, your business. You can't see what I'm spending. You're not entitled to that. Yeah, Phil has a really weird thing going on. He makes it his audience's business, and then, oh, I didn't play Champions, I don't waste your money. Yeah, maybe you should stop talking about your finances and your fans will stop bringing it up. And you know, there's a way to answer that question without being a complete jerk to your fans, Phil. But he's running a very delicate balance between saying, oh, I'm successful, but also I need your money constantly, otherwise I'm gonna starve.
Void is finally going to get kicked off that leaderboard. Dude, he was one of the first people to gift subs when I started streaming on here, and then immediately turned against me and started on me. And he's still in the top 10. We got to get him off that leaderboard, man. We got to get 2 more people to bump him off of there. He's at 180. Seriously, we got to get him off. We got to eject his ass out of here.
Mind you, Phil has been on Kick for under a year, so 180 subs is $5 per sub. That means Void gave DSP $900. What he's saying here, we need 2 more people to also give me $900+ because it hurts my ego that somebody gave me $900+ that didn't really like me in the first place. Sorry, Phil, cry me a river about that. You got your money, get over it. Hey Phil, can you tell me a subscription service that charges $900 a year? Off the top of my head, I can't. You're basically implying, hey, this is what I expect my fans to pay, hundreds upon hundreds, each of them per year. Are you a streaming service, Phil?
What about kicks? Because I'm curious. Weekly top kickers. Here, lifetime top kickers. To an XBTWXDX who had done a bunch. When was it? A month or 2 ago? I think it was like the end of the summer, early fall. And then actually 220 is second place, and now Shocks is third place. But that giant 5,000 kicks, Shocks already has propelled himself into third place.
He's upset about that because it's only $50.
If you take a look, the leaderboard of people who've used kicks, like lifetime kicks, is way more representative of today. You know, the lifetime sub-gifters, you got a few people in there that are permanently banned.
Well, yeah, obviously, you idiot, because those features did not roll out at the same time. You only got access to kicks a few months ago. That means that the support is going to be representative of the last few months. There was no opportunity for those people that dumped kick subs on you that you banned to give you any kicks. That makes sense. You're stating really obvious things, but you're like, oh, I need to get people to give me money because I have to make up nonsense reasons. I just want more, even though if I open the books, my fans would probably be very unhappy with how I spend my money when I'm begging for it. So I gotta make it a game for them to give me as much money as possible so they feel like they actually get something out of it, because my content doesn't do that.
Because they were, you know, casino goers, and then they hate me after I broke up with the casino. Oh, they can't take it. So, you know, they're still on the leaderboard, but they're not around anymore. But all these kickers are active. All these people who sent kicks are actual active people. So that's good. Like I said, we got to get these leftovers off the leaderboard for subs. Get them out of here. Particularly that Void character. That guy is grade A loser. Grade A loser. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, if you ever get into live streaming or making content on the internet, don't have any expectations. Don't expect anything from anybody. Phil expects everything from everybody, and you see how that works out. He may get money, but guess what? Is he happy? Is he content? Is he successful? All of those things are doubtful. Even if he raises 200K in a year, he's gonna spend 200K in the year. So where are the savings, just as Buckwell implied?
All right, and I got to turn off the lights, and I'm going to see if I can get a mod to show up, because I can't moderate this idiot all night. Oh, Ferbs, are you here? Ferbs, did you just show up? Will you be here for the whole stream? If so, we're good then, because I was going to see if any of the other mods could make it, but Ferbs, if you're here, then I appreciate it. Cool, because this guy is like a real no-lifer. Like, he's here every stream now, and we just got to make sure that, you know, people can have a good time in the chat. You'll be here? Thank you, Ferbs. I appreciate it, man. All right. Because that's the thing. Like, I don't give two shit about someone. Oh, Flatman, you're here too? Cool. We got two mod. Thank you, Flatman, for being here too. Yeah, this guy has a million freaking sock accounts. So please keep an eye on the chat. Because when I'm playing Call of Duty, you know I can't pay attention to that. And it's not about, I don't give a shit. Guy's making fun of me. But he literally spams and fills the chat. So people can't even talk. The guy's like 10 accounts. Like, dude, shut the up. Like, we get it. You don't like Phil. Like, you're a loser. Stop. Just let people chat and enjoy the team who want to be here instead of you who obviously don't want to be here, but you can't get a life.
The thing is, though, Phil, this guy actually does want to be here. It's just not the reasons you want him to be here. This is what happens when you feed the troll. Obviously, this guy is going to keep doing it. And yeah, I get it, the text is excessive, but if you've ignored him, eventually he'll get tired of this and leave. If he was even saying one-line insults, Phil would ban him too. He's out of his mind when he says, oh, I only care because it's spamming the chat with 5 lines of text. Sure, Phil. Your ban list on Kick says otherwise.
So Shocks did a $5 super chat. He says, man, the Kick chat's hilariously way different than YouTube. You're right. As I said, I have 2 audiences. I have a very supportive, positive audience on YouTube. A lot of longtime viewers, fans, and supporters there. And I've got the relatively new audience, only been around for about a year on Kick, who kind of came in with Kino Casino. A lot of them stuck around just to kind of razz me and make fun of me. But man, I mean, I still make money on Kick. I make good money on Kick. So I'm okay with that. Like, that's why I like the separation between the 2 audiences. And you keep this, you know, razzing sarcasm over here, and you keep the support, the kind of positivity over here. It works hand in hand. You know what I mean? It does. It's fine. I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, Phil, how many thousands of accounts on Kick have you banned in the year? You only do it because of how many times you stream in a week. Your audience really isn't big, but since you have 12 streams a week, it adds up. And of course, you have Iron Den Sakai, and without him and his army of sock accounts gifting tons of subs, you probably would have wage quit Kick or rage quit it already by now. You do not enjoy the razzing. The irony, you're on Kick because you reached out to Kino Casino. Who are they covering? Review Tech USA, who razzes you all the time. You were so upset about it that you felt that you needed to reach out to the Kino Casino, and look what happened to you, Mr. King Snake. So like, imagine if Tevin was streaming to 5,000 people daily mocking Phil. How do you think Phil would react? He would have a full-blown crash out. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed Phil reliving his glory days because he thought he was popular even though it was him or paint dry. Let that be a lesson to you. Fame is fleeting. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. This is Robust turning off the station.
Robust content. That's right. It is robust.